be with you. Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, you create life from the earth on which we dwell and breathe into it new life and meaning. Graciously, you empower us with knowledge and skills to aid one another as we live out our life on this earth. Bless our gathering this evening as we recall your grace and kindness to these graduates and celebrate the endings and beginnings of the opportunities you provide. Empower us all to live lives worthy of the calling you offer, that we may strengthen one another and your creation as we walk together with you through this life. In Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please remain standing and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and remain standing for the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Good evening. My name is George Whitmer, French National Honor Society President and a member of Tiger Leadership here at Holy Trinity. On behalf of the graduates, I would like to welcome each and every family member, friend, and guest, and I'm honored to also extend this welcome to the parents and families of the international graduates who have traveled a great distance to be here with us today. Today is a testament to the hard work and dedication that each of us graduates has put into our futures. No matter what any graduate says, we could not have done this without you. Your constant support has aided us in innumerable ways to prepare us for today. Graduation may be bittersweet, but it marks a new chapter in our lives. So, on behalf of all of us graduates, thank you, and welcome to the commencement ceremony for Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy's class of 2022.
A reading from Paul's letter to the Romans. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, on the basis of God's mercy, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable act of worship. Do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Let love be genuine, hate what is evil, hold fast to what is good. Love one another with mutual affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Do not lag in zeal. Be ardent in spirit. Serve the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Be patient in affliction. Persevere in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints. Pursue hospitality to strangers. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another, and do not be arrogant, but associate with the lowly. Do not claim to be wiser than you are. Do not repay anyone evil for evil, but take thought for what is noble, and in the sight of all, if it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave room for the wrath of God. For it is written, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay," says the Lord. Instead, if your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them something to drink. For by doing this, you will heap burning coals on their heads. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. The word of the Lord.
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Spies, and today I have the privilege of introducing the class of 2022's salutatorian and my friend, Brandon Perez. Although this award recognizes an individual who achieved the second highest GPA in our class, not many realize the challenge that precedes it. I hope to not only acknowledge Brandon's achievements, but also who he is as a person. That being said, I have known Brandon for more than half my life, 10 years to be exact, and one trait that has always stuck out to me is his exceptional work ethic. Even outside of school, Brandon became an extraordinary martial artist due to his willingness to go the extra mile, ultimately receiving a second-degree black belt. I still remember him showing me all the new moves he had learned from training at school, such as the one-inch punch, popularized by Bruce Lee. In school, Brandon held himself to a very high standard, even in some of our most difficult classes, such as bio honors with Mr. Chiarella. Where many would have thrown in the towel, Brandon persisted. When an assignment needed to get done and the time was late, rather than go to bed, Brandon would work late hours to get it done, sometimes even pulling all-nighters. However, of all Brandon's traits, I believe his sense of empathy is the most powerful. Whenever my colleagues and I were getting overwhelmed with schoolwork from our most difficult classes, it was Brandon who would create a sense of unity between all of us. Altogether, it has been a pleasure knowing Brandon, and I wish him the best in the years to come. And with that, please join me in welcoming Brandon to the podium.
On behalf of the class of 2022, I would like to welcome all of you, Dr. Cobb, faculty, staff, administration, parents, and families. I'm honored to be this class's salutatorian and to speak to you all this evening. First, allow me to say to all of you, congratulations. We have now done that thing required of us by the government. And in doing so, we are now much less likely to spend the rest of our lives in our parents' basement or twirling a payday loan sign in a pink gorilla costume on Wickham Road. Now when we all look back at our time at Holy Trinity, I know all of us can think of the great times we shared, all of the funny, memorable moments with our friends, teachers, and family. However, over the last 2 crazy years, I bet every student has experienced his or her fair share of disappointment and upset, including me. I'll never forget the day I saw The Amazing Spider-Man for the first time. I leapt off the couch and said to my mom, "When I grow up, I want to be Spider-Man." She looked at me and said, "Brandon, grow up. You graduate next week." Life will not always go the way you planned, and that was especially apparent to the class of 2022. As a class, we survived 3 Category 5 hurricanes, a global pandemic, and possibly the start of World War III. If anything, these all serve as examples of our resilience when facing challenges and obstacles. The fact that we all made it here today to be decorated with these awards and accomplishments serves as a testament to our dedication and perseverance in our commitment to strive for excellence. My fellow graduates, we are all destined for greatness, and each one of us has an opportunity to revolutionize this world. We have all grown into powerful, intellectual individuals with a thirst for knowledge and discovery, and we have our teachers to thank for this spirit instilled in each and every one of us. After all, our teachers have taught us many important skills over the course of high school to prepare us for the real world. Skills such as integration by parts, analyzing Lord Byron's scandalous literature, and identifying the location of the mitochondria in the cell. You know, the skills that adults use all the time in their daily lives. No, but seriously, we are all very lucky to have such a dedicated and passionate staff of teachers which work hard every day to ensure that we learn and grow as professionals, while also making class interesting and interactive. I want to extend a special thanks to Ms. Parrish for always making lectures interesting and humorous, to Mrs. Mariani, who taught us not to just scratch the surface, but also to keep digging and search for the deeper meaning, to Mr. Huntier, who taught us not just how to learn, but how to understand, to Mrs. DeRozier for always inspiring curiosity in her lectures, to Mr. Shirella, who sparked my love for biology and science, and to Senora Leon for some of the most entertaining and lively lessons on Spanish culture and life. And to all of the other teachers I couldn't mention, thank you so much for waking up every morning, coming to Holy Trinity, and putting 100% of your effort into making us better students and better people. Now is as good a time as any to also thank our families. I truly believe that family is the foundation of most of our ideas and the way we express them. I personally am lucky to have such a hard-working parents who always support me and have taught me so much about how to approach life with a positive attitude. To have my little brother Brian, who always makes me laugh. Y por tener una abuela que siempre me enseña algo nuevo cada día. Your parents sacrifice a lot for you, so make sure you thank them before you go today. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. College is going to bring a lot of changes with it because the real world is constantly changing all the time. Does anyone remember in 4th grade how we weren't allowed to use calculators because our teacher said that no one in the real world would just be carrying one in their pocket all the time? Or how our parents told us to never ride in strangers' cars? Yeah. Well, now we all have an app on our special pocket calculators which summons an internet stranger specifically so we can get in their car to go places. My point is, change is always happening because life is not a straightforward journey. Over the next couple of months, we're going to leave our families and many of our friends. We're going to be attending new classes with new people, all who are pursuing their own dreams. We'll have to make our own important decisions on who we want to be, on what we want to accomplish, and on who we want to be around. In the next year, we will all be pushed out of our comfort zones. But you will need to recognize these changes and embrace them, kind of like a weird uncle at the family reunion. Not because you want to, but because you need to, in order to grow and explore your passions and interests. However, there are 2 things that shouldn't change next year, and those are your dreams and aspirations. Hold these close to you. As I said before, life is a journey and we all need a destination. Never let anyone talk you out of achieving a goal. Always persist and never give up. That is the Holy Trinity way. That is the mentality of the class of 2022, because we did not give up when faced with hardship. Instead, we rose against the countless challenges that surfaced over the last 4 years, and we will continue to do so. Holy Trinity. It is more than just a school that provides success through rigor and hard work. It is a place where we are never alone. It is a second family that will always be there to support you. It is a place that will always be a part of us even after we leave here today. Holy Trinity, thank you for all that you have done for me and the class of 2022. And finally, I want to thank my fellow graduates. I couldn't have asked for better classmates and friends. I'm so proud of each and every one of you and what you have accomplished. So remember, next year, live, laugh, learn, and keep pushing P. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Will Bell, and tonight I stand before you as a member of this graduating class to introduce you the commencement speaker for the class of 2022. Holy Trinity has a tradition of including alumni as part of graduation. In fact, our own class of 2022 has 22 sibling alumni, many of whom are with us today to celebrate this milestone with their families. Will all of our Holy Trinity alumni please stand to be recognized? In keeping with tradition, we welcome back one of our own as the commencement speaker for the class of 2022. Raleigh Sims graduated from Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy in 12th grade in 2012. Raleigh attended Holy Trinity from 7th through the 12th grade. While here, he participated in many different activities. He was one of 2 sophomore boys selected to attend the J. Kyle Braid Leadership Program in Colorado, and led the initiative to reestablish the Fellowship of Christian Athletes chapter at Holy Trinity. He was a standout member of both the varsity basketball and track programs, helping win the first Holy Trinity track team state championship. Many of us who attended Coach Henderson's basketball camps when we were in elementary school remember him as one of the camp coaches. Additionally, he was crowned Mr. Tiger during homecoming week after singing Adele's Rolling in the Deep to the student body. Raleigh attended Luther College in Iowa, where he majored in political science and international studies, and played basketball and ran track. He then went on to the University of Virginia to earn a master's degree in national security public policy. He has studied in Belize and China, attended the Trinity Fellows Program, and was a legislative assistant. He currently lives in Washington, D.C. with his dog Rosie and fiancée Allie, where he works for the federal government as an East Asia and Latin America political analyst. Please welcome Raleigh Sims.
Wow. I wasn't expecting to be feeling kind of old in this moment, but after seeing Will introduce me today, and I babysat him when he was 5, now he's a giant and I'm feeling really old in this moment. So I'm going to try to rally and speak a little bit today. I'm honored to be here with you all to celebrate this class of 2022, their incredible accomplishments, and we're going to be celebrating the future accomplishments of this class as well. Just 10 years ago, I too sat here, but I guess over in the chapel over there, excited about the future, looking forward to my final summer with my friends, family, really excited to just leave the family, and anxiously anticipating my college basketball workouts that were impending. I know we're almost to the end of this whole celebration. I'm only going to take 15 minutes of our time today, and I'm going to get out of here. I remember when I was sitting here 10 years ago, I was ready for the speakers to be done. So I'm going to be quick with this. Tonight, I'm expecting that I'm speaking to probably 3 groups of people. The first, those that are paying attention, listening, probably going to try to get something out of this, primarily because you think it looks good. And I would have been in that group back here 10 years ago. The second group that, is ready to get out of here, but is probably going to be paying attention, might get something out of this, but also just kind of ready to go. And then the final group that couldn't care less that I was speaking today. And I assure you my dad would have been in that group when he was in high school. This evening, I'm planning to cover 3 kind of bigger topics that I think I've maybe learned over the last 10 years. And then I'm going to wrap it up, or hopefully wrap it up in a way that makes sense at the end for all of you. First, I want to talk a little bit about control, and specifically that we can't control how things are going to be turning out for us. Yes, I'm going to get a little religious in this point, but it applies to everyone, those that also are not Christian. When I was sitting in these seats 5, 10, or 10 years ago, I had what I thought to be a solid 5, 10, 15-year plan. How many of you had that or currently have it? I assume quite a few, because it's something that Holy Trinity really excels at. This school is phenomenal at getting students to be thinking about the future, figuring out how to leverage opportunities, cultivate future opportunities, connect with others, and be thinking about, okay, I'm about to step into this world and I want to be a valuable contributor to society. For me, at the time, my plan consisted of going to college, playing college basketball for 4 years, leading my team to success, staying close with my family and friends, finding a woman, falling in love, getting married, getting a prominent job after college, accumulating large amounts of wealth, living my life happily ever after, and growing stronger and stronger in my faith throughout those years. I knew there would be some adversity. I learned that from Coach Henderson and Coach Bailey. But I figured at the time that through sheer perseverance and determination, I would overcome these obstacles and that God would then bless me. Well, fast forward 10 years, and things have gone a little differently than I had expected. But I will say up front that I wouldn't change how these things have gone. I think they've really, frankly, ended up more beautifully than I had anticipated or planned 10 years ago. I did play college basketball, but I actually quit in the middle of my second season because I was struggling with serious bouts of depression, trying to make sense of some unaddressed abuse in my life, and I developed Simone Biles-esque yips that caused me to kind of play like garbage on the court. I also did fall in love with a woman. We got engaged, and then a couple months afterwards, we called it off, and I haven't spoken to her since. And my faith? I threw that out the window shortly after I left Melbourne, primarily because I was wrestling with spiritual questions about my sexuality, about heaven, about hell, about why a caring God would allow suffering in the world. You know, like these small things that people think about all the time. When it comes to my family and friends, I did stay close to some, but I've had a couple of acquaintances commit suicide. We've had familial tragedies and deaths. Not to mention, as mentioned earlier, the international pandemic, war, other international crises going on. Some things that weren't necessarily a part of our plan 10 years ago. I have written in here deep breaths, so... What have I learned from all of this? That I'm not in control. I wanted to be for so long, but it's become abundantly clear to me that my plans and processes aren't always the answer. And that the man upstairs, as I believe as a Christian, is always working things out for good. So, how did these stories end, or how are they currently developing? Well, a couple months after quitting basketball, the Luther College track coach approached me. He knew that I was a track state champion here in Florida, and he asked me to consider running track at Luther. I said yes, ended up getting my name in a couple of record books, and to be totally honest, it was probably the most fulfilled I've felt in any sporting experience to date. Around the same time, while the issues have been going on for quite some time, the Me Too movement also popped up and started calling out some of these issues. And after reconciling some of my own abuse story, I was able to advocate for and empathize with some other guys who were just starting to make sense of that part of their story. This also propelled me into working with legislative advocacy organizations that are fighting against human trafficking, that whole industry, and other industries that are seeking to exploit humans for financial gain. And as far as dating and family, I hit the jackpot with an incredibly strong, smart, and sexy Christian lady doctor who I now can call my fiancée. None of these blessings were a part of my plan 10 years ago, but they are far sweeter than anything I could have conjured up at that time. And the takeaway from this point is just that write your plans and goals in pencil, follow that, but know that some of the process to get there is going to be a little different than you expected. I also want to just a side note here, as I was talking a little bit about Christianity. I know not everybody here is a Christian, so I want to encourage those of you that aren't to set up some sort of infrastructure or system in your life where you can be able to handle some of the hard things that come your way. Because they're going to be coming, and when you get on the other side of it, you're going to be that much stronger. Remember, delay is not necessarily denial. My second point tonight. Steward your opportunities well and create paths for others. Now here I want to talk about two other Holy Trinity alumni who do this better than anybody else I know, and certainly better than myself. My first friend is Marquise Bergman. Marquise grew up in Palm Bay to a hard-working dad, a really large family, and he didn't have a ton of opportunities presented to him growing up. He was our manager for the men's basketball team here at Holy Trinity, and he was really bad at it. Like, really, really bad. He ended up kind of transitioning over to the track team, and we slowly but surely started to learn that Marquise actually had some wheels. He was out there competing with some of the other state champions, and my senior year, I was honored to be able to race with him in the school's first team track championship. After high school, Marquise went on to the University of Florida, where he ran relays, sprints, and hurdles, won a Division I national championship there, graduated from one of the most prestigious schools in the country, and now he's created several of his own businesses, particularly one individually I want to call out that has to do with helping folks from similar backgrounds to improve their credit scores and understand kind of the importance of credit. Through that program, he's been leading folks to be able to develop their own economic and personal flourishing through overcoming some of these obstacles that can be set in their way. What's the lesson from Marquise? If you're dealt a rough hand, slap it out of the way, humbly work your butt off, and pave the way for others to follow and find their way with you. My next friend is Jenna Lally. She graduated in my class with me, and in high school, she was an extremely kind and fun friend, though you could tell that she had some insecurities. She'd be the first to tell you now that she didn't really like how she looked at the time and was generally insecure. Shortly after high school, Jenna's mom passed away, leaving her to live alone with just her older sister. And it was obvious that she did grieve for quite some time. But Jenna didn't let that grief turn her bitter or self-focused. She decided it was going to make her better. She now runs her own health and wellness work company, where she advises women on workouts and nutrition that work for their body. She vulnerably processes her own growth to demonstrate to others that it is possible, and continues to help other women grow in their confidence. What's the lesson from Jenna? Vulnerability can be a strength, and if you steward it well, it can open doors for others to flourish. And now my last point. Make a fool of yourself and laugh at yourself. Mark Twain once said, "Against the assault of laughter, nothing can stand." Preach, Mark. That's some good words. Because y'all, I live in D.C. right now, which is the hub of overthinking and overinflated egos. Y'all know this. How do I try to avoid falling into that pitfall? Well, the advice I got once is that I should be praying for one good humiliation a day. And the Lord has been very faithful in that. For example, just a few weeks ago, I was meeting with my boss to talk about some talking points that I was going to be presenting to a relatively high-level military official. My boss and I disagreed about some of the substance that I was going to be talking about, and so I was starting to get a little annoyed. She was starting to get a little annoyed. Tensions were rising, and kind of at like the climax of that tension, my belt bust in half and fell on the ground in between us. Not even going to speak to how it got out of the loop onto the ground, but I just want to talk about how she looked up at me, I looked up at her, and that was the hardest we've laughed together in the last 3 or 4 years. I tell you this story because in the middle of that tension that we were experiencing, this laughter and laughing at myself alleviated the angst of the situation, allowed us to humanize each other, and I would say that it actually ended up forming stronger presentation for that military official than we initially had. So here again, the point is, the moment you forget to do this and laugh at yourself is the moment that you're going to be out of touch. And as you go into some of these harder conversations moving forward, laughter is key. All right, so I've given 3 points. You're not in control. Steward your opportunities for the benefits of others. And remember to laugh at yourself. Why did I pick these 3 points? Well, when I was asked to give this speech, I wasn't necessarily given much of a prompt. I was told, come speak at commencement. I was shocked and awed, so I didn't really ask many follow-up questions to figure out what I should actually be talking about in these moments. I did a bunch of Googling to see other famous commencement speeches and whatnot. After writing several what I deemed failed drafts, I decided to settle on that I thought it'd be worthwhile for us to comment on how I think we can try to successfully maneuver the complex and highly volatile society that these folks are about to step into. You're going to step onto these college campuses, or flight school, and you're going to start to hear all sorts of people telling you how to think, act, and feel. And it's going to be about topics that you probably aren't even thinking about right now. Again, in the last 10 years, while some of these issues were going on, we didn't have organizations out there highlighting things like the Me Too movement or the Black Lives Matter movement. We didn't have the international pandemic going on. There wasn't a war in Ukraine. We were still at war in Afghanistan. Inflation wasn't really much of a problem at the time. And while Supreme Court decisions usually are contentious, I think we can agree the one that's going on currently has got some people in their fields. All of these things are important. And as a public servant, I'd argue they do warrant your attention, particularly as you're going into voting age. However, you know what all these things also have in common? We, as individuals, can't possibly control the outcomes of such events. You know what we can control? The kind of person or people that we're going to become, and the kind of citizens that we're going to become. Will you use your positions of influence to create space for others to flourish? I hope so, because that's what our country needs right now. In fact, our world needs it, in this moment. Will you allow yourself to look like a fool in conversations about race, sexuality, politics? I hope so. And after you've looked like a fool, laugh at yourself, and then learn. Learn to recognize that you're not in control, ever, which will help you to humbly enter into some of this discourse about how to improve our world. And steward your opportunities for the benefits of others, because if only you're succeeding, then those problems are going to be persisting long after you're gone. I'm going to close with this tonight. A comment on Holy Trinity's motto of start here, go anywhere. Y'all are going to be surprised by how many times you think about those 4 words. Sometimes they've been in my dreams, and that's a real problem. But I encourage you to really think about that last word, anywhere. What does that mean? My definition of it has changed over the course of 10 years. I think currently right now for me, it means that you don't have to be an astronaut or a CEO or the president. That's not what Holy Trinity is trying to get you all to become. You can be a waitress. You can be a pilot. You can be a doctor, a lawyer, a plumber. All these things is a part of the word anywhere, and that's good and necessary and valuable for our society. Someone's got to do those jobs. However, I do think you can go anywhere, become anything, but what's important is how you're using your time in those positions, wherever you go. With that, thank you all for having me. Thank you, the board, faculty, staff, students. I'm honored to celebrate this class of 2022 with y'all. Let's give them a big hand.
Thank you, Mrs. Sims, for your words. Our school is blessed to be represented by such fine alumni as yourself, who epitomize our core values in acknowledgement of your contributions of our community, both as a student and as an alumni. We would like to present you with an honorary Peace Award, recognizing your respect for others, spirit of cooperation, and honorable decision-making in all areas of your life. On our behalf of our graduating class, I thank you for coming again and celebrating with us. Thank you.
of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see, I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams are sweeping me away. I think of what the world could be, a vision of what I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lila Cohen. I've been blessed with the privilege of introducing the class of 2022's valedictorian. The title of valedictorian is awarded to the graduate with the highest grade point average in the senior class. This year's valedictorian is Priya Gupta. Priya's academic accomplishments have led her to become a National Merit Finalist, National AP Scholar with Distinction, and PEO Scholarship Finalist. Along with all her academic accomplishments, Priya has continued to excel outside of the classroom. She founded and was a student leader of Diversity Council, had a peak U.S. Chess Federation rating of 1800, was the assistant coach of our Holy Trinity football team, started her own podcast, was the captain of the academic team, was a varsity track and field athlete, and an amazing debate competitor, placing in multiple tournaments. If you can believe it, that was a shortened list of her accomplishments. As you can see, Priya is pretty outstanding to say the least. Her countless accomplishments only begin to show her character. I've had the pleasure of being one of Priya's friends for the past 5 years. She is determined and hardworking and is an individual who will always fight for what she believes in. She is one of the most kind and loyal people I have ever met, from having stuck by my side from our first class together in 8th grade English to our last class together, which also happens to be our senior English class. She excels in anything she does. Priya is the epitome of what a Holy Trinity student should be. She came to Holy Trinity in the 8th grade and is now planning on attending the University of Michigan to get a dual degree in computer science and business administration. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming the class of 2022's valedictorian, Coach Priya Gupta.
Thank you, Lila, for the kind introduction and for being my first friend at HTEA since our second period 8th grade English class with Ms. Persnick. You've been the best friend I could ask for these past 5 years, and I can't wait to see the incredible things you go on to accomplish. First, I want to start by thanking the important people that are the reason we sit here today. To my parents and all of the parents and guardians in attendance, who have provided us with superior opportunities by supporting us in countless ways and paying for the wonderful education we have received here, thank you. To both of my grandparents and my cousin who flew across the country to be here today, thank you. In particular, thank you to my darling Nana, who overcame a very recent medical scare and insisted to his doctors that he be discharged from Holmes Regional yesterday, but unfortunately was not able to be here tonight. To Coach Hooks, who took a chance on me by giving me a special opportunity to coach football that I may not have had at another school, thank you. To Ms. Carlson, thank you. While I never had the pleasure of being a student in your classroom felt like another home to me during my time at HT. To Mrs. Pedicini and Mrs. Mariani, who reviewed my essays with kindness and timeliness, thank you. To the administration, who works tirelessly to keep the school running, thank you. To Mrs. Pagan, Mrs. Ramos, and the rest of the college office, who work tirelessly to keep us on track for college, make sure we are pursuing what we want, and constantly remind us of important deadlines so that we don't procrastinate, thank you. To the faculty, who give your all each and every day to ensure we are getting the best education possible, spend considerable effort designing lesson plans that make learning a little less painful for the ones who don't enjoy it, and adapting quickly and innovatively to an unusual COVID online learning landscape, thank you. Ty, let me show you how it's done. Three years of coaching, and I still can't throw the ball. Ty, maybe you're the one who needs to coach me up. Adversity causes some men and women to break, and others to break records. We sit here today, about to graduate, having been through a roller coaster of 4 years. If there is one thing our class has learned how to handle, it's adversity. We faced a global pandemic that forced entirely new ways of conducting class in the most important years of our high school learning. To be honest with you, everything pre-COVID is kind of a blur for me now. In a way, it feels like a whole nother lifetime in an entirely different world. I just remember 8th grade being full of interesting field trips, a chaplain, and a viral Spirit Week video. In 9th grade, we were at the bottom of the food chain again. 9th grade meant my first AP history class with Mrs. Dykes. For those of you who experienced her classes, it likely meant procrastinating on packets until the night before they were due, and then proceeding to pull an all-nighter, or getting a 0 on an assignment because she doesn't take late assignments, no exceptions made. Unfortunately, I learned that the hard way on an assignment worth 15% of my grade. Thankfully, I was a second semester senior. Shout out to Mrs. Dykes for teaching all of us the consequences of procrastination. As we moved up to 10th grade, most of us were getting our driver's licenses, and we gained a new level of independence. Many started taking their first AP classes or took on a more serious role on a varsity sports team. Personally, this was the year I took my first Frontier class. This meant experiencing the best card tricks imaginable, and the class getting 4 a.m. messages about how the intense training needed to move a wall was going. Mr. Frontier did indeed move the wall, and what is always a mystery to underclassmen waiting to take his class. This was also the first regular season that I worked with football, and the infamous Coach Priya jokes were born. But, most notably, this was the year that everything changed on a fateful day over spring break, when we found out school was moved online for 2 weeks. I'm sure many of us can remember what was unknowingly our last day of normal school that year. I remember a track practice with other athletes having no idea this would be their last practice of a season that would never resume. I remember every 2 weeks discussing on Zoom that there was a chance we could return to school before the end of the year, but obviously that did not happen. It was a strange few months for all of us, including taking 45-minute AP exams that we all realize now were much easier than the ones we spent the past few weeks taking. It felt like time moved incredibly slowly leading up to August, when some of us were fortunate enough to finally return to in-person school. But we showed up and overcame adversity by being flexible and innovating as new challenges continually faced us. And as Brock, Parker, and Ethan told the seniors multiple times, you can if you want. It was junior year, but under some strange circumstances. We returned to school mass, with teachers balancing online students with in-person. This was also the most challenging academic year as far as course load for most of us, which certainly wasn't easier to navigate under a COVID landscape. Junior year was anything but normal, with sports season starting late after wondering if they would even happen at all. You all began the year with attending football games masked and having to socially distance in the stands, yet you still managed to make them fun and fill them up, even with what was supposed to be limited capacity. Mid-football season came with the opening of the stunning new athletic facilities that surround us right now. It's strange how much they feel like home now, given that we've only had them for a year and a half. With COVID came the wonders of Mrs. Dykes, who was the reason we were the only school in the county that got to have an actual homecoming. We were the first class to experience a dance on the football field and end the night with blue feet. We also got to enjoy the implementation of a second break, which we continue to enjoy this year. But before we knew it, junior year had passed, and we had made it to the year we'd spent all of junior high and high school waiting for. Senior year. Senior year came with a lot of new privileges, like out of uniform, a power that certain seniors definitely wanted to abuse. It also brought a new chaplain, Chaplain Porter, who would make some interesting dad jokes. But unfortunately, senior year also meant college applications. If we hadn't gotten to know ourselves by this past August, the next few months would make sure of it. Well, I, and my parents, had hoped my procrastinating habits had disappeared. The college application process showed that they were still very much alive. The week before November 1st was a stressful one for many of us, as was the week before January 1st. Clicking submit on an application of only a few pages that had the power to determine our future was a mentally taxing process for many of us. I'm sure by now you're all very familiar with the candy bowl in the college office. If you're wondering why Miss Gunderson would always refill it so quickly, you're welcome. This year also ended up being the most unpredictable and unprecedented college application cycle ever. I can't say for sure whether or not this is the superfluous effects of the pandemic years that shook up enrollment and yield numbers for colleges, but it was an extremely tough cycle that had its joyous moments, but also came with many tears with some shocking decisions. Yet, all of us graduating today received an acceptance from at least one university. In fact, as a class, we were accepted into 75% of the colleges to which we applied, and we will be enrolling at 52 different colleges. This college application cycle was defined by adversity, and we overcame it by understanding when one door may close, another will soon open if we are prepared to seize the opportunity. As a class, we have faced extreme adversity and overcome it to sit here today. While the pandemic has made many aspects of high school less enjoyable, it has also taught us innumerable skills that we wouldn't have been equipped with going into college, had we not experienced it. The pandemic forced us to advance to the current age of technology, which means our technological skills are top-notch. A lot of us had more time to devote to projects and new skills. We learned how to be more independent because online schooling meant more self-regulation in order to succeed. I'm sure many of us were tempted to do school from bed, but we learned better time management and self-control because learning from bed was not really learning. The pandemic forced us to learn how to navigate forced structural changes within the school, including separate chapels, unusual class change times, and strange as well as sometimes isolating class conditions because of social distancing requirements. We learned how to navigate changes between in-person and online as quarantines happened, and clearly we were able to handle it considering we are sitting here right now about to graduate. In spite of the pandemic, seniors completed more than 11,934 service hours in their time at HT. And in the class of 2022, 11 student athletes signed to play their sport in college. The growth that we have undergone will serve us well and set us up to succeed in the coming years. And is growth that we should be grateful for. One of my favorite quotes is from legendary college football coach Lou Holtz. "Show me someone who has done something worthwhile, and I'll show you someone who has overcome adversity." Adversity presents us with numerous possibilities for success if we are just willing to see them and be prepared. Speaking of football, again, I want to finish with a quote that sums up this idea nicely, and it is fitting that it is from Tom Brady. "It's funny how Tom Brady has become weaved into my life in strange ways. I will be attending his alma mater, the University of Michigan, next year. My brother just accepted a job with Brady's NFT company, Autograph, and will begin working for him this summer. My dad went to college with him and met him there, and my mom just loves him a lot." Anyway, as Brady put it, sometimes in life the biggest challenges end up being the best things that happen in your life. I want you guys to go into college with an open mind that is receptive to feedback and opportunities to learn and grow, and maintain that flexible mindset that the pandemic has ingrained in all of us. Do not be afraid of failure, as oftentimes failure is where we grow the most. As Brady also said, "I thought I would never get a chance to play, until one time I did, because I was prepared and the opportunity presents itself. Be prepared when that opportunity presents itself for you, because you never know what the results of it could be, and you could even be the next Tom Brady." Where'd the football end up? You got it right there. Yes. We all need coaches to take us to that next level, in many forms. Clearly I learned something in the 3 years of coaching. Anyways, we all need coaches to take us to that next level, and they come in many forms. Whether that's a team coach, an advisor, a mentor, a chaplain, a teacher, a therapist, or your family and friends. Be open to honest, unbiased feedback and other views as they will guide you to success in the future. I know I said I was going to end with the Tom Brady quote, but I actually want to end with a quote that many of us have ingrained into our heads after experiencing his class or being around him. It's a relevant lesson, and one that I have no doubt too many of us will carry with us into the rest of our lives. As Mr. Cattell loves repeating, point the thumb, not the finger. And parents, if you don't understand it, ask your kids. Congratulations, graduates, and thank you.
Dr. Cobb and the members of the Board of Trustees, I have the honor to present to you the graduating class of 2022. Will the candidates please rise? Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me, I do hereby confer upon you this high school diploma, certifying that you have met the requirements of scholarship and service as prescribed for graduation by the Board of Trustees of Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy. Congratulations! As your name is called and you come forward to accept your diploma, I do invite your family and friends to stand. Ryan Timothy Miles. Brianna Angele Ramnith, STEAM, Global Citizenship, and Capstone Diploma. Mary Kellogg Stallard. Grace Diane Price. Karis Isabel Assam, Global Citizenship Diploma. Isabel Virginia Bush. Robert Mitchell Barnes. Kendall Kathleen Harrison.
Ryan Stephen Mazzo. Ava Michelle Middlebrooks. Brock Corwin Schultz. Roy Thomas Swigert. Will Alistair Bell. Cody James Royston. Carrington Louise Lawson, Global Citizenship Diploma. Bella Mae Johnson. Dylan Roy Johnson. Anna Catherine Asley Harmon. Dylan Christopher Collins. Christopher Joseph. Sean Birkin Sabasi, STEAM Capstone Diploma. Robert Jeffrey DeRozier. Alexander Michael Spees. Jalen Hickel. Jeffrey Logan Araj. Jonathan Peter Bailey. Sydney Brooke Bouchard. Lila A. Cohen. Amelia Rose DeVries. Anissa Dye, capstone diploma. Abigail Helen Eds. Larry Anthony Edgecombe Jr. Cassandra Marie Barnum. Mary Lou Gillespie. Amelia Elizabeth Garvey. Jennifer Sky Godfrey. Anna Lavon Gurnovicki, capstone diploma. Thomas Cole Hewitt. Braxton Joseph Lenoir, STEAM and capstone diploma. Kira Dawn Alani Lee. Sophia Rose Lyons. Campbell Chase McNabb. Julia Marie McNatt, STEAM diploma. Isabella May Muniz, capstone diploma. Jacob Lamar Price. Siddharth Reddy. Elijah Kai Riviera. Emily Ann Rutgers. Georgia Kate Ridson. Ashleen Mullen Scully. George Ronald Widmer, global citizenship. Joshua James Williams, capstone diploma. Allison Naomi Chamberlain. Parker Joseph Sinka. Elizabeth Hopkins Cleveland. Nicole Elizabeth Garillo, capstone diploma. Priya Anna Guda, capstone diploma. Theophilus Isaiah Mansell. Ryan Mel. Sedona Janine Perone. Jaden Alonza Gowan. Haley Ann Herder. An Violet Luong. Seichi Nakahira. William Spiros Nefakos. Eric Anthony Parnell. Brandon Anthony Perez. Mary Bernadette Durkin. Ayana Cache Garcia. Caroline Olivia Marie Lacey. Marcos Daniel Correa Lopez. Eugene Brendan McCarthy IV. Jackson Alexander Riggs. Yuan. Riley Elizabeth Roche. Timothy Jacob Etzit, STEAM Diploma. Lauren Emily Allison, Global Citizenship and Capstone Diploma. Sydney Gail Brito, Global Citizenship Diploma. Soleil Edwards. James Lee. Jiwon Christina Lee. Thomas Vincent Nargi. Ethan Derek Simonson. Kai Z. Young. Anthony Yao. Jai Fiona Zhao. Emma Ann Binder. Jalen Michael Francis. Ty Lawrence Engelhart. Gabriel John Fleece. Sean Kylie Gentinen.
Congratulations, graduates. You did it. Take a deep breath and feel the pride and tremendous sense of accomplishments that comes with a milestone like this. Take it all in. That feeling that you have inside is well earned and much deserved. It comes from hard work, dedication, and perseverance. These are the building blocks of your future. You're about to leap into a new and exciting chapter of your young lives. Everything you have worked for has laid the foundation for the opportunities and ventures that await. You are the authors and architects of your own success stories. It started here at Holy Trinity with the lessons, love, spiritual nurturing that helped shape you into the outstanding young men and women who stand before us today, poised and ready to go out into the path of limitless possibilities and discovery. Now, I ask you, take a look around. Among you are the next innovators, scientists, inventors, engineers, designers, communicators, healers, humanitarians, artists, athletes, business leaders, and entrepreneurs. Now, I ask you to look unto your parents and the loved ones, your teachers and friends, everyone who has had a hand in helping to guide, encourage, and inspire you over the years. Our audience is full of people who have loved you and have poured all they have into your lives. Many of you also have siblings who love you and have been there for you every step of the way. You may be surrounded by a village of friends and extended family who have made investments of love in your life, sometimes unnoticed at the moment, but never without influence. Your futures are ripe with opportunity because of their love,
commitment, and sacrifice. Parents, siblings, family members, teachers, we applaud you for a job well done. And finally, students, I hope you will take the time to reflect on your spiritual journey to this point and recognize and be humbled by the other guiding force that has brought you to this day. God's presence can be seen, heard, and experienced every day at Holy Trinity. You've seen Him in the elation of an athlete who scores the winning goal. You've heard Him each time the bell rang outside the college office announcing yet another impressive acceptance. You felt Him in those moments of crunch time when you didn't think you had anything left in you to give, and somehow you found the will in the way. He has given you the strength to rise above challenges and the fortitude to stay the course, to endure one of the most valuable lessons you'll ever learn. Now, while your mind, body, spirit journey at Holy Trinity may be coming to an end, let these fundamentals of your education here continue to guide you through life and its future narratives. Let them define your path as you follow your passion and make an indelible mark on this world. Your future awaits. Continue to make us proud. Good luck and God bless. Will the audience please stand and join us in singing the alma mater? The words and music can be found in the back of your program. Please remain standing for the benediction and recessional. Please stand for the recessional and remain standing until the procession has moved to the goal post in front of the Shaw Family Athletic Center. The graduates will gather there for their traditional cap toss.
May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. May God give you the grace never to sell yourself short, the grace to know the world is too dangerous for anything but truth and too small for anything but love. May God take your minds and think through them, take your lips and speak through them, take your hearts and set them on fire. And may the blessing of the Holy Trinity be with you always. Amen. Is it gonna? Yeah. Oh gosh, no. Okay. Okay. We got it. You got it. There it is. and peace to love and serve the Lord.